All right, let's dive into something that is absolutely crucial for your financial future: putting your money to work for you.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You get up, you go to work, you put in the hours, you earn that paycheck. But then what? What happens to that money? Is it just sitting there, or is it out there hustling just as hard as you are?
Because here's the scary part. There's a good chance something is secretly nibbling away at your savings right now, even if you think it's safe and sound in a bank account.
So what is this thing? Let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the invisible money eater that's threatening your financial future.
It's called inflation. And no, it's not just some boring economic term you hear on the news. I want you to picture it like a little creature that silently, day after day, eats the buying power of your cash. That 100 Rand you have today, in 5 years, it won't buy you nearly as much stuff. That's the creature of inflation at work.
But hey, it is not all doom and gloom. Not even close. You can absolutely fight back. And that brings us to our main quest today: making your money work for you, which is really the key to unlocking financial freedom.
Look, the only way to beat this inflation creature is to make sure your money is growing faster than it's being eaten. That's it. That's the whole game. And that, my friends, is what investing is all about. It's not some optional extra if you're serious about your future.
So this is a huge point. To win, you've got to focus on buying assets, not liabilities. So simple, right? Assets are things that put money in your pocket. Think of investments or businesses. Liabilities are the opposite. They take money out of your pocket. Yeah, I'm talking about that fancy car or the latest gadget that starts losing value the second you open the box.
Okay, buy assets. I hear you. But how? You might be thinking this is where it all gets super complicated, but honestly, there's a really simple, straightforward path to get started.
The stock market, it's not some crazy casino for Wall Street types. Nope, it's actually a place where you can buy tiny little pieces of real, successful companies. You can literally own a sliver of the businesses you see and use every single day. How cool is that?
And just let this sink in for a second. When you own a piece of a company, everyone from the CEO right down to the intern is working hard to make that business more valuable, which means they are all working to make you richer, even while you're sleeping.
So what's the best way to do this, especially if you're just starting? Well, for most people, it's something called an ETF, or an exchange-traded fund. Think of it like a combo meal of stocks. Instead of betting everything on one company, you get a whole basket, like the top 40 companies in the country, all in one easy package. It's low cost, it's diversified, which makes it much safer, and it takes almost zero effort.
And before you run off and start investing, there's one more critical piece we have to talk about: the mindset. This is so important. Investing is a marathon, not a sprint. It is not a get-rich-quick scheme.
I promise you, you are going to see scary headlines about market crashes. The market will go up and it will go down. This is totally normal. It's just short-term noise. The people who win this game are the ones who learn to ignore the noise and just keep their eyes on the horizon. And this is a really important distinction. We are talking about long-term investing, that patient, proven marathon approach. We are absolutely not talking about short-term trading. That's a completely different game. It's a sprint, it's speculative, and frankly, it's more like gambling.
And if you just zoom out, the big picture becomes so clear. In any given year, the market is a roller coaster. But over 5 years, 10 years, and especially 20 years, the historical trend has always been up. Time is your absolute greatest superpower as an investor.
So, if the strategy is this simple, and the long-term trend is on our side, why doesn't everybody do it? What's stopping people? Well, the real enemy isn't the stock market. It's something inside every single one of us.
There's this fantastic ancient story about a wealthy man who gave 3 of his servants some gold to look after while he was away on a long trip.
The first 2 servants, they were smart. They invested the gold, put it to work, and they doubled it. But the 3rd servant, he took his bag of gold and he just went and buried it in the ground.
Why? I mean, why would he do that? He had the same opportunity as the others. What was it that held him back?
One word: fear. He was so terrified of losing the little that he had, he basically guaranteed he would gain nothing. And that exact same fear is what keeps most people from ever getting started today.
So how do we conquer that fear? How do we take that all-important first step? Let's try thinking about this differently. Let's stop thinking about burying gold and start thinking about planting seeds.
Yeah, seriously. Like farming, your income is your harvest. If you eat every single seed you harvest this year, you'll have nothing to plant for next year, right? Investing is just that simple act of setting aside some of those seeds, your money, and planting them so you can have a much bigger harvest next year and the year after that.
And you do not need a fortune to start planting. You can start investing in one of these powerful ETFs with as little as 500 Rand a month. You can do it right from an app on your phone. The barrier to entry is gone. There are no more excuses. The most important thing is simply to start.
So I'll leave you with this final question. The person you're going to be in 10, 20, or 30 years, they're waiting. They are counting on the decisions you make right now. So, what seed will you plant for them starting today?